The taxi stopped at 8 in the morning on Sunday. Alex settled the fare with the driver and then got out, going around the car to open the door and help Paola out. They made a splendid couple, he dressed in a tailored Hugo Boss suit and she in a magnificent emerald green gown that flowed to the ground with one shoulder exposed. Alex looked at the house and took a deep breath. "Are you okay?" Paola asked. He didn't reply, just nodded, and, taking her arm, he approached the open door through which some uniformed staff were bustling in and out, surely a catering company hired to provide food for the bride's guests before heading to the church. Alex stopped before entering, unsure whether he should do so without announcing himself. It felt strange to have this reaction in a house that was technically still his but in practice wasn't anymore, having left it nearly 2.5 years ago with no intention of returning. James was passing from the living room to the kitchen when he saw them standing there. He immediately changed direction, greeted Paola, and then threw himself into his father's arms. Marie was leaving the kitchen still answering to someone when she turned her head, saw Alex, and froze, dropping the dishes she was holding, which shattered on the floor with a crash. Alex looked at her and gave a slight nod. She looked at Alex, then at Paola, clearly unsure how to react. She eventually turned and ran back into the kitchen. "Your mom seemed happy to see me," Alex commented to his son. "Don't mind her. She'll get over it in a bit. I'll talk to her." "But what are you doing out there? Come in." Alex's legs felt like they were moving with great effort, finally dragging him inside the house while he heard his daughter coming down the stairs asking, "What happened? What broke?" with James answering, "It's fine, Mom dropped some plates, that's all." Meanwhile, she reached the bottom of the stairs and saw her dad with Paola at the entrance of the living room and jumped into his arms without any delay. "Dad!" Finally. Then she gave Paola a tight hug. "Dad, I have to go back to my room, I was there with the makeup artist, but don't go anywhere, okay?" Alex laughed. "No, sweetheart, I'm not going anywhere." They finally entered the living room. Alex looked around, and nothing seemed to have changed. It all felt like it had happened the night before and yet also felt like a distant memory. "James, you'll have to talk to someone to give us a ride later." "You didn't come with car?" "No, we came by cab." "If I need to, I'll call one, but if there's a ride." "Don't be silly," James said, stepping away for a moment and returning with a key that he handed to his father. "It's in the garage. You'd better get the car out front before more people arrive." "Don't worry, it's all in good condition. I've been taking it for spins on weekends to keep it running." Then he added with a cheeky grin, "And besides, showing up somewhere in a classic Mustang opens a lot of doors, if you know what I mean." Alex looked at him seriously and said, "Son, let me tell you something I feel compelled to say as your father." James raised an eyebrow. "When you find the right woman, don't let her get away. Marry her and live your life." James nodded, surprised by his father's serious demeanor, who continued, "But until you find her, have fun with the wrong ones." They all burst out laughing, and Alex asked James to keep Paola company while he took the car out of the garage. The car was right there, just as he had left it. It seemed to be patiently waiting for him. He got in, smelled the leather of the seats, felt the steering wheel in his hands, turned the key in the ignition, and it roared to life. He pressed the button to open the garage door, pulled the car out, parked it on the street in front of the house, and returned to Paola and James, who were absorbed in conversation. Throughout the morning, it became evident that Marie was doing everything she could to avoid entering the living room. Alex only caught a glimpse of her when she passed through the hallway to the upstairs bedrooms. The house filled with guests, many of whom Alex didn't recognize, likely colleagues and friends of his daughter, along with family and longtime acquaintances who greeted him enthusiastically when they saw him. Mid-morning, the bride finally came down to join the guests and pose for photos with everyone. Alex couldn't hold back a tear of emotion when his daughter approached him, radiant in her wedding dress. "My baby," he whispered in her ear as he hugged her. "It feels like just yesterday I was carrying you on my shoulders." That's to show you're getting old, his daughter replied playfully, radiating happiness. But I will always, always be your baby. But in a little while you'll have another one to carry on your shoulders, she continued, winking at him. Alex looked at his daughter with an intrigued expression and then smiled. Already? Yeah, it wasn't planned, but we've made so many sketches lately that one has come to fruition. Alex hugged her again and whispered in her ear, "Congratulations, Mom." "Congratulations, Grandpa," she replied. Before long, Marie finally joined the guests. Alex saw her coming down from the first floor, dressed elegantly and modestly. But she never approached or interacted with Alex. However, she was extremely surprised when Lisa and Fernando arrived and greeted him, as well as Paola, as if they were longtime friends. As soon as she had a chance, Marie pulled Lisa aside into a room. "Lisa, I saw you greeting Alex and the girl with him." Lisa smiled. "Please don't start making assumptions. I went out for dinner with Fernando yesterday, and we ran into them at the restaurant. We ended up chatting and had dinner together, then went out after. There's no more story behind it." "Who is she?" Marie asked. "Didn't your daughter tell you?" "I know her name is Paola, she's Italian, and she was Alex's physical therapist when he got injured." "Yes, and they became friends, and Alex insisted she come. But she has a flight this afternoon, she won't stay until the end of the party. I think she has to be in Dubai tomorrow morning." "Are they not staying?" Marie asked, some fear in her eyes, imagining she would only see Alex for a few hours before he left again. "She's not staying. Alex has returned permanently. He'll be going back to his old job. Don't worry, he's not going anywhere. And Paola doesn't bite. She's very nice, actually. I think you'd enjoy talking to her." Marie absorbed all this information but still felt unsure of what to do. However, knowing that Alex wasn't leaving sparked a glimmer of hope. "Marie, now go get yourself ready, hold your head high, and go out there to take care of the guests and be the perfect host. Today is not the day to deal with these skeletons. Leave them in the closet for a little longer." Marie looked at herself in the mirror, adjusted her appearance, lifted her chin, and left the room already with a smile and a different disposition.